first time it's just recorded, like saying John 18, 28 through 38, he then had to go before Herod.
Which is in 23rd chapter of Luke, 16 through 12 verse. And then back before Pilate, you will find that in John 18, 39. And then you go to the 40th, the 19th chapter and read the 1st through the 6th verse. And that would clear you up on, you know, when he got before Pilate again. And Pilate, you know, something that was interesting about Pilate, you know, him knowing that Christ was innocent, he actually tried to wash his hands of all of it and left it in the people's hand to, you know, deal with him in the way that they would want to deal with him. And that was very interesting.
Which helps me to understand and appreciate the fact that when we're dealing with making decisions, rendering decisions, just because the majority says this is what we ought to do, that does not in any way, shape, fashion, or form indicate that that's the right decision to make.
Exactly.
And his hour was to wash his hands.
That's right.
He was going to let them decide, and he was going to wash his hands because he couldn't find any fault.
That's right.
Strange.
He was accessory. Okay, moderate.
Okay, we're going to go on into our subjects now, part 1, do you remember? And this text came from Matthew 27:46. And we were told here to meditate on the cross, to remember what our salvation cost Christ. Also, it was shared with us how Jesus saw us in this cup and the cries from that cross. So we're going to go into that, starting with Minister Johnson.
Yes, those cries on the cross was very interesting to me, how Jesus Christ, you know, just, I mean, on the cross, you know, he didn't have to do it, but he did. You know, even being able, like in Matthew's the 26th chapter, how he talk about he was in the garden and how he was able to look into the cup, and he already saw all of these things, but also in that cup he was able to, you know, visualize, he saw us in that cup, and he knew that if he didn't go through with all of this on the cross, that we wouldn't be able to be here today. You know, and in the cries, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give it to Sandra and allow her to just tell you the cries that he went through.
He gave the first cry from the cross, and his first cry was, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they are doing. You'll find that in Luke, the 23rd chapter, the 34th verse. That was his first cry from the cross. He wanted to forgive us. That's letting us know we've been forgiven of our sin, because he was going through what his Father had wanted him to go through just for us.
Right.
That was his first cry. And the second cry was, I'll tell you the truth, today you will be with me in paradise. That's referring to as the thief on the cross with him.
He spoke with the thief.
He spoke with the thief.
And you know, it was interesting. One of the thieves, even at the point of death, was still acting foolishly.
That's right.
Because he was basically taunting Christ, saying things like, you know, if you really are the Son of Christ, why don't you save yourself and save us too?
That's right.
And the workings of the Spirit allowed the other thief to rebuke the foolish talking thief.
That's right.
And I mean, I really get joy from that, because sometimes it is not what we choose, but it's what and who God chooses that makes a whole difference in the world.
That's right.
Here we have three people
on the
cross.
Yes, sir.
Two who are actually dying justly.
That's right.
And one of the two just really being foolish, whereas the other one actually sees a need for Jesus in his life.
That's right. That's right.
And evidently he had heard about him.
Oh yeah.
From somewhere.
And he had lots of confidence in Jesus.
I'm telling you.
Because he told him to remember me.
That's right. And our third cry was, woman, here is your son. That's John 19 chapter verses 26 through 27. And our fourth cry is, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. That is to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? You know, sometimes we feel like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
You know, we feel all alone, feel like the Lord has forgotten about us. And I'm sure with all the things that Jesus Christ went through or was going through, I mean, I'm sure he felt this, but we must remember that Jesus Christ was just like us.
That's right.
He was in the flesh, you know.
Exactly.
Their scripture even dictates to us that his flesh began to weaken.